And we're live. I didn't really want to do this video. I was a bit reluctant after the performance on the weekend, especially the performance on Monday night to Crystal Palace. I was really furious and upset with the way we performed away from home. Forget away from home. I thought, all right, Crystal Palace was probably just, we had a bad day or we didn't have the right players with Kieran Tierney being injured and ruled out for the rest of the season. I wished him a speedy recovery as he did suffer from a knee pain, and he does have to undergo knee surgery, which he already had. So hopefully he has a speedy recovery. But going off the bat of the Crystal Palace game into Brighton at home, it felt like we're a team fighting for relegation. It felt like we were the away team, not even at home. It was really embarrassing. I knew our top four hopes could potentially be over when I saw Gabriel Martinelli at left back. Gabriel Martinelli at left back. Let that sink in. It felt like Arteta panicked when he saw this lineup, when he saw the formation, when he saw that Tarek Lamptey was on the bench. It felt like he hit the panic button. And again, we see Granit Xhaka at left back. The same mistake from last season. We saw Granit Xhaka play most of last season at left back because of Kieran Tierney being so injury prone and made out of glass. What does he do again? He drops Nuno Tavares, one signing that he completed with the likes of Edu and Richard Garlick in the summer window, drops Nuno Tavares again, and then we're seeing Granit Xhaka at left back, which clearly left our midfield isolated with Sambi Lukonga playing as a lone DM. It was extremely frustrating to watch and embarrassing. We only turned up for the last 8 minutes of the game with a foolish deflection goal from Martin Odegaard. It bounced off one of the Brighton players, and it was an embarrassing performance at home. And I know the fans were very loud and enthusiastic, but unfortunately, that doesn't get us points on the board. And yes, you can say we still have a game in hand, but our game in hand that we have over Tottenham is Chelsea. Chelsea away from home, and we still have to play the likes of Chelsea away from home, the likes of West Ham away from home, and Tottenham away from home. We also do have a Man United game coming up near the end of the season at home, and right now it's not looking good for us. It looks like with a very thin squad, which we already knew from January, and making that even more smaller, not having replacements for Aubameyang and Lacazette already on the pitch, it feels like we're playing with 10 men down. I want to thank everyone who's tuned in right now. Do make sure to like the video if you haven't already, and let me know your thoughts below before I go into a deeper analysis of Arsenal's defeat at home 1-2 to Brighton at home. It's embarrassing. And I'm lost for words on how we're going to perform the rest of the season. Are we even going to get a spot in Europe? Or is it going to be another season without European football? Before I go into the match reaction, let me go ahead and run back that intro real quick. Hi, everyone. I just want to thank all of you guys for tuning in today. And this match reaction was long overdue, something that I was waiting to get my frustrations out, letting a couple of days pass by for me to cool down from my emotions, because that performance on the pitch was absolutely embarrassing. We do not deserve European football. And I know how frustrating it is to watch this type of Arsenal play, but we did not bounce back from that Crystal Palace defeat. We humiliated ourselves in our own yard to Brighton. Respectfully, that hasn't even won a game in 6 or 7 fixtures. And they got a comfortable win against us with a brilliant goal from some random youth who hasn't even scored for them in a long time. Very embarrassing performance. You can say this, there was a potential goal that should have been allowed with Martinelli's chance early on in the game that was spent 5 minutes with VAR. You can argue all you want about VAR, but we did not deserve to win that game. We were absolutely run out of the park, second to every ball, backwards passing like as if there was 10 El Nenis on the pitch. And Lacazette offers nothing in front of goal, nothing moving forward, and Lacazette no man marking whatsoever because opponents know that he offers no service. His biggest opponent is his own oxygen. And I hate that I'm saying that about our players. It's very upsetting to see. And, moving on to play Southampton now, we do have a double game week coming forward into game week 33 with Southampton away and Chelsea away. I am not confident. Chelsea are going to play Real Madrid tomorrow, so let's see how they do. See if they can bounce back to Real Madrid in a very tough match that they have to play with Ramadan Karim Benzema outclassed them in their own yard. But I can't even celebrate that Real Madrid victory because of how embarrassing and appalling Arsenal Football Club is at the moment. Not giving Tavares another chance and benching him, changing up too many things in the formation really didn't suit the likes of Bukayo Saka because we are not playing him to his strengths. Bukayo Saka was so frustrated against Brighton because he had no service. He had no one to pass the ball through to him where he could get a good shot on target. And it was embarrassing. The only goal that we had in that game was a deflection goal from a Brighton player that Martin Odegaard scored. But, it was really embarrassing. And you can say injuries all you want, that we're unlucky with injuries, but look at Liverpool last season. Liverpool really struggled with injuries, but you see even their backups are starters, backups who could start for us. And, with Nuno Tavares dropped and Granit Xhaka slotting back into left back, Sambi Lokonga coming in as a lone DM in what appeared to be a 4-2-3-1 formation really costed us the game. And that midfield was completely isolated, embarrassing, and Sambi Lokonga couldn't do it all on his own. The front three remained the same with Gabriel Martinelli coming into the team. But later on into the game, you saw Martinelli kind of shift into the left back role, which was really confusing. And even Bukayo Saka at times, you saw, him in that left back role with Smith Rowe picking up more of a central 8 role in the game. But overall, it was embarrassing. Cedric had an all right game, but even Ramsdale, ever since his hip injury to Liverpool, it felt like he hasn't been the same player. Ball distribution wise, commanding inside his box, it didn't feel like we were on par. And we tried to push for an equalizer after the break, changing up our formation, putting Granit Xhaka back in the midfield, and it just didn't work. I'm going to read out some of the comments in here. Big up to everyone tuned in. I really appreciate it for your support. Hi, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate your support. And if you haven't already subscribed, I do appreciate any new subscribers, and do make sure to leave a notification, click the notification bell to be notified whenever I go live. Sorry, this is 2 days late. I needed some time to calm down from the match. It was really embarrassing performance, and I did mention on Spaces many times. Shout out to Daniel and Nippon, the Chelsea fans in the chat. Good luck to you guys tomorrow. I know I'm wishing you luck, but I don't really mean it. But, we could see what Conte has to offer in midfield with Conte and Kovacic, most likely tomorrow in midfield. Zayark, shout out to you. He says, when will you give up on Arsenal? I am not giving up, but it's extremely frustrating. Top 4 was ours to lose. And I know at the start of the season, you could say that top 4 wasn't in our hands. No one would have thought we would finish in top 4. But look at Antonio Conte's Tottenham. When you give Antonio Conte what he wants and the players that he signed, Kulusevski has been one of the top signings in the Premier League this summer transfer window. And, it's very upsetting to see Tottenham beat Aston Villa 4-0, and we couldn't even get a sniff out of Brighton at home. And we're struggling to finish games off, let alone we're struggling to score away from home and at home now. Thomas Partey injured as well. Hopefully we see him back for the Chelsea game away from home or for Man United, but it's not looking good for us. Hi, FPL Fledging. He says, wish us United supporters luck against Norwich too. I think you guys can beat Norwich. Then again, for FPL reasons, I am considering thinking of Pookie as a punt. FPL-wise, I am even considering selling Bukayo Saka out of my team for someone like Minerals Mason Mount, who could possibly turn up in double-digit haul and get me bonus points as well this game week 33. I know Chelsea have good fixtures moving on into the rest of the season, and considering their Champions League hopes might be ended tomorrow, I think Mason Mount is most nailed out of the midfielders for Chelsea assets. And Vizzy says the only thing we have to hold on to right now is the history of the Tottenham. Yeah, it's really sad. I mean, the way we performed against Brighton, I would have never thought that's how we would bounce back at home, and it really felt deflated, like the balloons that Lacazette was on, because he has not turned up at all this season. And you can see the way Aubameyang is performing at Barcelona. I am proud of him, but again, we didn't get any reinforcements that we needed. And Edu, Richard Garlick, Arteta, they all knew how injury prone Kieran Tierney is. Yet we had, Tomiyasu being injured. We don't know when he's going to be back. Hopefully he's back for when we play Man United at home, or I don't even think he'll be back for the Chelsea game because it is too soon. So we're possibly going to have to see Cedric again. Mind you, Cedric has been all right so far, but Gabriel and Ben White as well. Our fullbacks, the defensive back line has not been up to par, including Aaron Ramsdale. And we did not deserve to win that game. With a deflected long range strike is the only thing that had us a goal in that Brighton game, and it was embarrassing. It really feels like a top four finish is dented and disappeared. And I think Tottenham are favorites to get top four now. I'm not saying it's over for us. We could bounce back, but I just don't see it happening. Aaron Ramsdale didn't really have much to do in the game against Brighton. However, he was not good in terms of ball distribution and especially commanding inside his box. He was telling the defenders many times for Ben White and Gabriel to keep building up play and to stay in their areas and not lose focus, but they kept losing focus and being too casual. And it really felt like Gabriel was having a lot of defensive lapses. I don't know if it's because it's his child having a newborn at home, but he doesn't seem to be performing on the pitch. His passing was really sloppy or slow, and oftentimes you saw our fullbacks even passing backwards. It felt like we were seeing El Neni on the pitch. Granit Xhaka at left back was horrendous. Last season, I told you guys, we played Xhaka at left back because Tierney was injured most of the season. And tell me why we then signed Nuno Tavares and we don't play him. Yes, he had a stinker against Nottingham Forest. Yes, he had a stinker against Crystal Palace and was hooked off early twice now. But you don't bench him and change the midfield up even further to complicate things, because when you're changing a lot more into the formation and lineup, you're overcomplicating things, you're overthinking things, and eventually it starts costing us the game. Overall in that performance, even Smith Rowe offered nothing in the left number 8 role. In the first half, we were horrendous. That second half, we tried to build momentum. We tried to get back into the game, but we were struggle on and off the ball. Even Bukayo Saka didn't really have a great game because there was no one there to give him the ball. We're not playing Saka, the system that we play, to the strengths that we could see Bukayo Saka. And tell me, Gabriel Martinelli's shot that was denied by VAR, do you guys think that 5 minutes it took, that it could have been a goal that should have been allowed? Because it was inconclusive whether he was actually offside, or was there too many bodies to even determine whether it was an offside shot? Let me know your thoughts in the live chat down below. Eddie Nketiah coming off the bench, surprisingly. Eddie Nketiah recently has been offering a lot more than Lacazette has, and he did have good touches on the ball and a strong cameo appearance. He did have a sitter that he missed. Again, we all know Eddie Nketiah is a championship level player, and this season we should see him out the door. It's clear as day that Nicolas Pepe is on the bottom of the pecking order. Pepe did not contribute much into this game, and we should have started him as a striker, I felt, and bench Lacazette. But sometimes it seems to me that Arteta doesn't have the courage or the confidence to bench someone like Lacazette and play the likes of a Gabriel Martinelli or a Nicola Pepe up front and see how well we do. Try out something new rather than doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. For example, playing Granit Xhaka at left back. And my rating for the manager in this performance was 0 out of 10. You lost your best midfielder, Thomas Partey, and then you're moving the second best midfielder, Granit Xhaka, to a left back in our squad. It clearly didn't work. And you should know, based on your experiences from last season, not to do that. You changed the entire system, the entire shape, and The changes did not improve anything. It was a disaster. And, playing at home, it felt like we were playing away from home because of how nervous we were. Brighton were always first to the ball, first to the attack. And even on set pieces, we were poor. And, with Thomas Partey injured and Kieran Tierney out for the rest of the season, we shouldn't have to rely on a very thin squad. Our bench options should be used because we signed these players. Yet that's not the case. I am going to go through some of your comments, so bear with me. Why Not says it would have been better to have El Neni on the pitch. And something I like with El Neni, although he is not the greatest player in our squad, El Neni at least does the basics. He's the type of guy to go into work, clock in, and do the simple basics of his shift and clock out. Not much complaints from El Neni other than the backwards passing, but I'm sure he could have been at least more service than what we had with Sambi Lokonga as a lone DM. Sambi Lokonga, mind you, is very young and raw off the ball learning. He did try his best, but keeping him as a lone DM was an awful structural decision from the manager. Why Not says, I wait patiently for Arteta to be sacked. I don't think that's happening. Personally, I think he might be even given a contract extension because of the project. Fledging says, Arteta's ceiling is 4th in the Premier League. Arsenal deserve a manager who can take them to the next level. And what's upsetting is this summer, and, last summer, we spent 250 million so far. And Arteta has been here for nearly 3 years, 2.5 years now. And the end of the season, we will know whether he's going to be signing a contract extension or not. Hi, Niall. Hope you're well and thank you for your support. He says, for me, the problem starts higher up at the club with Stan and Josh Kroenke. Then work your way around until you get to the manager and some of the players. As a Man United fan, we won't get top 4. Yeah, Man United do have a lot to work with. And look at Everton. They beat Man United 1-0. We also lost to Everton, but mind you, we lost to a better side that Man United lost to for the Everton team. But I shouldn't even be talking or celebrating the Man United defeat because Arsenal are not in a position where I can say, hey, look at you, Man United fans. You guys lost to a worse Everton side than us because Arsenal have embarrassed the life out of me at home in our own yard. Hi, Talk Man. You hope you're well. And Charlie says, don't even get me started on Eddie Nketiah, FTT. I completely understand. He's a championship level player at best. I know in the Carabao Cup, it was at the Eddie Nketiah Cup, but that's the kind of level of football that Eddie Nketiah plays. And he does offer more than Lacazette, but that's because Lacazette doesn't offer anything moving forward or anything on the pitch. Yes, Lacazette is a good leader or a father figure to the team off the pitch, but I don't think that's what we pay him for. Hi, Mr. Miami. Thank you for tuning in. Sign Patrick Schick. I don't know who we're going to sign. I did see reports today that we are linked with, I think it's Ruben Neves we were linked to, and the price tag is 50 million so far. But again, it's just paper talk for now. So we will see in the summer who's outgoing and who's incoming to Arsenal this summer. Hopefully, Kroenke does give the money, Josh Kroenke or Stan Kroenke, to invest in the striker situation because our strikers are not firing and have not been firing for a while. Daniel says, but apparently Arsenal play better football than Chelsea. Funny people actually believe that. That's ridiculous. We are not in the level of competition even to be in the same breath as Chelsea, unfortunately. And I know we can rely on history, but right now we are not there yet. We're not the Arsenal we were once before, and I think that's hard to accept. Osman Ali says, we were never getting 4th place. I've been saying this for over a month. We don't score from corners, free kicks, long-range belters, solo goals, and don't have a striker. We don't have variety of goals. Yeah, our striker doesn't even turn up. Would you take Darwin Núñez from Benfica, who's linked with Man United? Darwin Núñez is someone who I would take. He is incredible to watch from Benfica, but his price tag is insane. Mind you, I think he would be an incredible player to adjust to the Premier League, and I do see that he is linked to Man United and Chelsea also. So it's going to be interesting to see where he goes. I would even consider the likes of Ivan Toney from Brentford or Calvert-Lewin. I know some of you guys do not like the idea of Calvert-Lewin. assuming Everton are relegated, I think Calvert-Lewin's price tag would decrease. And I also feel that Calvert-Lewin, the system and the players that he has around him at Everton, mind you, I feel Richarlison is a better player than Calvert-Lewin, what he has to offer. But I don't mind. I think anyone is better than Lacazette at this point. And in the summer, a striker and another midfielder as an El Neni replacement would be something we need to have on top of our shopping list, as well as if Real Madrid present us with an offer of 50 million for Kieran Tierney, granted, and if we're getting rid of El Neni on a free, I think Granit Xhaka might even leave. But I also think Hector Bellerin will end up staying at Real Betis. I think Reece Nelson will end up staying at the club that he's currently at. Mind you, those players are still on loan and still are under our books. Matteo Guendouzi is also another player under our books, as well as William Saliba's situation at Olympique Marseille. It's a doubt whether Saliba would even come back to Arsenal. If Saliba was to come back to Arsenal, then I think the player that should be benched for William Saliba should be Gabriel, in my opinion. Mr. Miami says, I'm on a 20-minute lunch break. Oh, okay, enjoy your lunch, and thank you so much for tuning in. Why Not says, Twitter fans talk a lot. I agree with Daniel. Arsenal fans deluded. Arteta fans say Arteta ball is greater than Tuchel ball. Tuchel is an experienced manager, and he got them to win the Champions League. And they are in the further off in the FA Cup as well. So it's going to be interesting to see their FA Cup results as well. And I think they're favorites to win the FA Cup as well. Why Not says, not to Calvert Bellerin, not focused, poor mentality-wise. And that's another question you have with mentality. Is it the mentality of these Arsenal players that the mentality is not good enough? That defeat at Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park. Yes, last season, early on in the season, this season even, we drew to Crystal Palace and we didn't deserve a point from that game. Vieira outclassed us in every way, shape, and form. And again, we got our pants pulled down 3-0, not even being able to score a goal against Crystal Palace. Mike Harn Iman says, Ben White needs to be benched, Gabriel and Saliba. I think the other way around, I would bench Gabriel and play Ben White and Saliba. But hopefully Saliba comes back, because that also is up in thin air, and we don't even know whether that's going to happen either. The other thing I will say is, looking forward at the rest of the season into the Southampton game, I am not confident. And mind you, I know Southampton have not been in the greatest form, so it is a chance that we can finally possibly win the game. But Southampton do have Shea Adams up front and Armando Broja, and Broja is Cobham FC Chelsea asset on loan. It's going to be interesting to see how well he performs against us, and he's been Livermento as well as another name to mention against Southampton, and to see how well we do. Whether who's going to be in left back? Is it going to be Nuno Tavares, or are we going to see Granit Xhaka or Bukayo Saka there? I don't like when we sacrifice our attack to play Saka or at left back, because then we're sacrificing our attack. And already when we're playing Lacazette in the attack, we're already 10 men down, sacrificing our attack. So to take out Bukayo Saka from the attack worsens the equation and makes it worse for us when we're starting the game. Hi, Talk Menu. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Osman says, if Arsenal had Kane and Son, we'd be in third, let alone fourth. We need guaranteed goals, which we don't have. Adeyemi from Salzburg and Ivan Toney should be targeted in the summer. I agree. I think Ivan Toney is a good player. And mind you, the service he's getting from Christian Eriksen recently has been incredible to watch, along with the partnership of Mbueno, who before earlier on in the season, I did have him in my fantasy Premier League team, and both of them did give me good returns. Mike says, Southampton will be a difficult game. These are the games I hate, when we play against someone who has just been battered. They'll be wanting to prove a point. Yeah. Southampton were destroyed, absolutely destroyed by Chelsea away from home. And it's going to be interesting to see whether we could even get some results or even draw or win that game against Southampton away from home. And then we go on to play Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, which is definitely not going to be an easy game. Daniel says that's another 2 players from Cobham to play as an excuse to use if you lose. Yeah. And I completely agree with you. And the quality and the player that Conor Gallagher is another player who has been really good for Chelsea on loan. Great to see his work as well as Armando Broja. I wish we could sign him, but I don't think that would happen considering he is going to go back to Chelsea and hopefully have a belter of a season at Chelsea. Why not says to play Saka at left back. So I'm assuming then why not you would play Pepe Smith Rowe in attack. Let me know what you think for attack wise for the game against Southampton. But let me know your thoughts of the Brighton game. Who was your man of the match, if any? I'm not picking a man of the match in this performance. I think everyone was equally as poor as each other. And the only player who seemed to show some bit of fight was Gabriel Martinelli. Cedric had an all right game, but again, not the greatest and not the quality that we've seen of Tomiyasu early on in the season before he was injured twice now. It's strange with Tomiyasu because we don't even know when he's going to be back. Hopefully, he is back for when we play Man United at home, and hopefully we can beat Man United. Why not says Daniel AFCB Loser Fan TV makes up excuses. We try to keep it factual on this channel. Our academy players are not good enough to loan out to Premier League clubs. Yes, and even the players like Omari Hutchinson, those kind of players are not ready yet. The Charlie Patinos of the world, I don't think they're ready yet for the caliber and the level that the Premier League has. The Premier League is a lot faster paced than what the academy and lower leagues are, so I don't think they're ready yet to play. Mike says play Saka left back and start Pepe, Smith Rowe, Odegaard, and Martinelli up front. I agree. I would bench Saka, but I don't think Arteta has the balls or the courage to do that. It seems like Lacazette, week in and week out, regardless if it's rain or shine, he will always start. Twice on Sundays if Arteta could possibly play him. And it's very frustrating to see that. It kind of seems like a bit of an ego, whether he doesn't want to drop Lacazette and be proven wrong about not signing a striker in January when we could have gone after a striker. Mind you, I don't mind that we didn't go after a rush signing and someone who could have failed in the Premier League, like maybe Alexander Isak. Possibly we paid 80 million for him. What if he didn't adjust in time? No striker is going to adjust the way Aubameyang adjusted to the Premier League that quickly. And it's going to be interesting to see in the summer who we sign as our midfield and our striker targets. Hi Wilson, thank you for your support. I do appreciate it, and I do appreciate everyone still tuned in. Do make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I will be live next week for my match reaction against Southampton. Regardless of the result, I will still be here giving you guys my analysis, my thoughts, as well as cutting it down on how I feel of Arsenal so far and how I feel we will fare rest of the season. Wilson says, Arsenal were effing awful yet again against Brighton. Yes, 100%. You say it as it is. And Arsenal made Brighton look like Manchester City. It is an absolute joke. Yes, and I agree with you. And that was a game that we were supposed to bounce back and not bench Tavares. Give him some kind of confidence boost, and we failed to do that. Why not says drop Odegaard's goal or not last game. The performance was not good enough to the overall contribution to the team. Yes, it's down to Arteta's crazy system formation, but he was sloppy. Yes, I agree. And I also agree that the system formation we've been playing recently does not give the best out of Bukayo Saka, which is often times when you watch the games back, you see how frustrated he is because there is no one to give him service. Mike says Aubameyang has been insane at Barcelona. I knew he would. I also said the same thing. I have friends who are Barcelona fans, and I told them, look, I think he's gonna do well for you guys, but he does get more space at Barcelona, and it is a different type of league. And the way Xavi is managing them is incredible. He took them from 8th to 2nd, which is incredible. Hi Ankit, thank you so much for tuning in, and it's gonna be interesting to see how Chelsea do tomorrow in the Champions League. Hi Mel, hope you're well. Sorry, Arsenal, I really doubt regarding the 4th position now. Ankit, you are not alone. I agree with you, and I think top 4 is out of our reach and out of our hands and a shadow of our past. Top 4 was ours to grab and ours to lose at the same time. Daniel says, if you don't beat Southampton, you won't get top four. They play like a Bundesliga team. You will have so much space and time to score. Yes, and I hope we beat them. But then again, Southampton might want to prove themselves after you guys battered the life out of them at their home stadium. Wilson says, I can't understand why Arteta started Granit Xhaka at left back. This guy has got no pace whatsoever. It is really shocking decision. Yes, and as I said earlier, last season you saw Granit Xhaka the way he performed. He was not suitable in left back. Yeah, and which is why we signed Nuno Tavares, supposed to be our backup left back for Tierney. But in the summer, I really feel if we get an offer from Real Madrid or another club to sell Tierney, no player is bigger than the passion of this football club. And if we're trying to move forward, then unfortunately we have to sell the likes of Kieran Tierney. If we get an offer higher than 40 million, I would sell him. We bought him around 20 to 25 million, and we also did buy him injured, if you guys remember. Static, thank you so much for tuning in. I do appreciate your support, and thank you very much. Mike said, I don't want Lacazette near the team next game. I'd rather Eddie Nketiah to start over him. Mike, I think Eddie Nketiah is just as bad as Lacazette, but Eddie Nketiah does offer something, the bare minimum, but Lacazette just seems like his head is not in the right direction, and it seems like his heart is not with Arsenal Football Club. And I know he's leaving on a free, and you would think he would want to perform and leave an impact till the end of the season for the fans, but it's just been disappointing and deflating. Mike says Tierney will be captain next season. I don't think so. I know I love his energy. I love the leadership that he offers in the team, as well as his directives to the game. But he's too injury prone. Why not says, I think Southampton will be a lucky draw to us. That's going to be embarrassing if we draw to Southampton. Like I told you guys earlier, Southampton have not won a game of football in a long time, and they have not been in form. But then again, on their day, they could turn up, and they're playing at home advantage as well. Daniel says, I believe Chelsea can do it, but it's 70% impossible. I believe Daniel is talking about retaining the Champions League as well as their Champions League match tomorrow. It's going to be interesting to see how well N'Golo Kante does. I know last game he was taken off at halftime for tactical reasons, and he is fasting as well as other Chelsea players, and even Real Madrid team does have Muslims who are fasting. So it's going to be interesting to see how well they do and how the game goes on. Talk MU says, I still feel Man United can get top four. I don't think so. I know your fixtures are not that bad, but you do still have to play Liverpool, which, you know, I don't think you guys can beat Liverpool the way they are performing and the way their defense has been with Andy Robertson, Trent, and in midfield with their new signing of Luis Diaz. He's been an incredible signing this season. And Mike says Southampton will just be a 0-0 boring draw. Wilson says, my prediction is Southampton 1, Arsenal 2. Why not says, I think Arteta struggles to motivate out of a slump. Yeah. And it's really frustrating, you know, the amount of money we paid for Pepe, 72 to 75 million, and not barely giving him a chance. And the amount of chances we give Eddie Nketiah week in and week out, it's baffling. Daniel says, losing to Everton, I don't see it. Oh, yeah, I understand. Hi, Misha. Thank you so much for tuning in. Nice to see you, and hope you're enjoying the nice weather today. Hopefully, it warms up more. I'm just on my break from work, so I thought I'd do a quick match reaction to tell you guys my thoughts of the Arsenal versus Brighton performance, as well as my look into the rest of the season. I am not confident moving on into the rest of the season. We still have to play West Ham, Tottenham away, West Ham away. And we still have to play Man United at home. It's not going to be easy fixtures. We don't necessarily have an easy run into the rest of the season until game week 38. Daniel says Livermento is a permanent, but we can buy him back. Broha is a loan. Oh, okay. I didn't know Livermento was a permanent move. I know you have also Billy Gilmore on loan to Norwich. I do remember that as well. Thank you. Why not? He says smash the like button. It's free. Yes, I do appreciate everyone who's tuned in today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am going to wrap up this video here. And I do appreciate you guys letting me know your thoughts of the Arsenal versus Brighton game and how you felt of the performance. And what do you expect from Arsenal for the rest of the season? Do you think we would finish in Europe? Do you think we'll even get Europa League? And who do you want as Arsenal's next striker, as well as our El Neni replacement in the summer? Let me know your thoughts and more in the comments down below. But that's all I have to say for today. Have a nice rest of your day, everyone, and a great rest of your week. I will be back next week for the Southampton match reaction away from home, and then Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. Take care, everyone, and have a great rest of your day.